For the eccentric front lever, you want to start with an easy version that allows you to maintain that lower trap activation as you're lowering. I like to start it off with the feet up on the box, so you can have the rings a little bit higher and your butt won't quite touch. Whether you use this just as a warm-up or using this to coach others, it's up to you. But I find this quite helpful to really feel that engagement. So I've got the box in front of me, use a chair, whatever, just to raise it up a bit. And the reason for that is as you come to the bottom, you want to be able to keep that butt off the ground. So I'll come right up onto my tippy toes, get as high as I can, engage those lower traps, and then I'm going to slowly come down using that 30 seconds, as much of it as I can. Keeping the elbows locked, because I'm deloading through the legs, coming down into that. So that's quite good. I find it quite helpful working that elbow lock with it, working that strength all the way through the chain and really trying to feel those as I'm lowering. To step it up from there, you've got to have your kind of ability to get into the inverted position into it. For some people, when they're starting out, it's easier to go forward and then come up into the tuck like that. And then as you come over, bend the elbows to shorten that lever, keep your knees against the chest. And working on that. Obviously you're shortening that lever quite a lot. Once you've got that down, then it's just going from this position back into that. You can jump a little bit when you're starting, and then you want to be able to get it into a pull. So coming back, and then just lowering so that letting the elbows bend. As you get better, the elbows bend less, so not so much like that. Coming down, so really trying to control that. From there you can start to raise the rings up, keep the elbows locked out, and then as you get better you can open the body out into a harder version. It's only one rep coming down, so it's obviously the heaviest that you can do, whichever your heaviest version is that you're going to work up to. If you've got 4 sets though, you know, get your first 2 to really warm up, and it's really only 3, the 3rd and the 4th. If you've got time to do more, you'll get a benefit, you know, if you get those extra warm-up ones in and get kind of 3 really solid working sets. But I find you know, it's much more effective with time use, and then just to be consistent with clients and myself to just get those 4 sets done. So I still get 2 really solid working sets. So from there, whichever way you want to get up, make it harder. You can do the straight arm pull, come in, and then just create the shape that you want to work with on the way down. So you've got the tuck, to open tuck. For me, I'm kind of at that butterfly one. Just trying to control that. Ideally going a bit slower, but pretty heavy duty. So you're really trying to get that nice engagement through there and use as much of that 30 seconds when you come down. Working the eccentric planche is a very hard skill to develop. So you're really trying to control that through that serratus as you lower down. So the reverse of controlling with the lower trap when you're coming down in the front lever. So using a band is quite helpful. I've got it up quite high to give me a decent spot. This is very hard for me. But you can start off with just keeping the toes on the ground, so you're not actually going up into the air, and not even using the band as an easier version. So you spot yourself off the toes. Then you want to get up into that inverted tuck, and then lower yourself down. I tend to have to front load it a little bit more to hit that handstand. That tuck to find that position. And then from there, really control it, lower down. That's hard. But yeah, the easier version with it is just to come right up on your tippy toes, get into that nice high pike,
And then just give yourself enough of a spot with the toes to keep that on.
That's very hard in itself like that. If you're not as flexible, it's okay. Just work wherever you can, get your butt as high as you can and lower down into it. Then we've just got the eccentric side split using a ring at a height where you've got a decent spot, and then you're just lowering down, keeping that chest up, slowly coming down, sliding out, trying to keep that nice stack. Doesn't matter how far you go, it's the quality, and then just enough help to really work those weak areas. I find it's quite hard if I really try and tuck my butt under. It's much harder, whereas I can sit back into my hamstrings and put heaps of load through there, and it's not hard, but getting right into the front of the hip is a lot heavier for that one. I like using the hip mob, especially for side split on that one. Did this last month as well for the active rest, doing either that guy or laying on the back to do it as well. Using that arm circle, it's quite nice. Just to reset before going back into the front lever, which is quite challenging, but 4 rounds of that really get you going. But yeah, remember to warm up, really work with yourself on the day. Don't psych yourself out. You know, if you go too hard all the time, you can kind of get, and I've done this to myself over the years, where you get anxious before you're doing a workout and you're kind of preempting it too much. Remember, you've always got to work with yourself on the day and just have a sense of what you need to do as a workout. Your expectations can often injure you or just exhaust you, and then not allow you to really enjoy training. So that's why I like keeping it short and tight, 8 minutes. So, you know, I can see an end to it, which is cool sometimes, and then really kind of work with my body. And then if you're feeling really good, yeah, by all means go harder, but don't beat yourself up. It's not going to work. So you want to find that way of really kind of coaching yourself in a nurturing way. And if you're coaching others, then the same thing. You know, you need to keep people coming back and enjoying the process. So it can't be so hard that it just inhibits you and you don't want to get out of bed or get into the gym. You've got to make it an enjoyable process. You don't want to be lazy either, but you've got to find that balance where it's a constant process that you enjoy.